Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan. And today, as you can see, I'm returning to my Disney movie marathon where I be talking about the movies, TV shows, whatever. If it's related to Disney in any shape or form, so let's just get into it, I guess, well, because I find a way to talk about it, of course. So I guess I'll just respond to this podcast, whatever you call it. And it's from these individuals whom I dubbed the softies, the plugged in show, I guess. It's a podcast kind of a thing they did on their website or something, whatever. And yes, of course, it's complete nonsense as usual. They always make bad takes, like horrendously stupid bad takes. They want to focus on the family because they're acting as if that's the absolutely only way for everyone to live. It may work for you, that doesn't mean it can work for everyone else. What is this, Communist Cuba? So it just goes into the section where they done the reviews. Some of it is in audio form and some of it is in text form, which if you ask me is lazy. The text form, I mean, but what do I know? I'm just a grumpy old person over here that complains a lot. Anyway, so I just thought I should do this respond. The original video, uh, excuse me, sermon or podcast, whatever you call it, was originally about a little over 40 minutes, almost 50. I didn't want to do the whole thing because I just want to get to the point, really. Yeah, I'm getting my impatient ass. But anyway, they spoke about the live action remake of Lilo and Stitch, which, by the way, in case anyone doesn't know, yes, I did cover this movie. It's an extremely mixed bag. Very, 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 very mixed bag. Still a bad movie, yes, but it's an extreme. There's some aspects I thought was kind of decent, but the vast majority of all the aspects were awful. Of course, they want to bring up the original movie quite a bit here as a response to the fact that remake was released. So there was that, I guess. So the flaws override. There could be potentially better. Okay, aside for the fact it's a remake, which I thought was a bad move from Disney's part. But I'm also criticizing the plugged-in team, I guess, because they're just nonsensical. Because going to the whole family thing I was referring to earlier, they will only praise a movie, even if it's heavily flawed, if it goes in what they believe in, which makes them incredibly biased. Because again, they just assume the only absolute only way to live a good, wholesome family, if you have a bunch of kids, if you're married, and you follow the biblical teaching. They mostly want to talk about the original one because they feel that that's the most pro family ever kind of a movie, apparently. But okay, I don't. What? This is weird. Again, it may work for you, it may work for your family, it may work for your husband or wife, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone in the entire damn planet should follow what you believe in. Again, this sounds like communist talk if you ask me, but whatever. So they wanted to put the original Lilo and Stitch on a pedestal because, according to them, it's one of the most pro traditional family movie ever of all time, even though it technically isn't. At least not in the Christian traditional sense, not in that way, but they're acting like it is. So they're lying because that's not what the movie's doing at all. Because for one, it's different than that, but okay. But this is just a really, 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 really bad review on a bad movie. So double the dreadfulness, I guess. Whatever. I don't know. So let's just get this over with and just whatever. I just get to the point where to talk about this movie.
In 2002, Disney released a little animated film about a young Hawaiian girl named Lilo and her strange blue dog, Stitch, who is, in actuality, an escaped alien experiment. With that quirky premise and a soundtrack featuring a generous helping of Elvis Presley tunes, Lilo and Stitch proved to be a hit with families and plugged in.
Yes, the original Lilo and Stitch did prove to be a success. So it spun off a few sequels Well, more like several. Those are about what, four of them, I believe, if I remember correctly, and a TV show. And then yeah, it became like a little phenomenon for Disney because it became this unexpected hit. That's true. Just because you like the original film does not necessarily mean I can't call you out for some stupid things. I mean, yes, this eventually led to the remake. Of course, man, like I said, I actually did watch it in the movie theater, regrettably. But no, Disney just keeps doing the same continuously remaking it that makes the same mistakes on repeat. I mean, I can't blame them entirely, really. Maybe to some extent, perhaps, but can't blame the movie-going audience more because they're supporting this movie. And to prove my point, the Lilo Stitch movie became a massive success. It's mostly because of nostalgia, if you ask me, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, go on, I guess.
In our original review, we said that the movie puts forth pro family themes with relatively few unpleasant surprises.
No, no, no. Again, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Absolutely no. People of Hawaii, they have their own customs and culture when it comes to family. They have their own customs and whatnot when it comes to a family, which in itself is fine. I'm not criticizing for that. But I'm bringing this up because these individuals, the plugged in TV show, focus on the family. What they fail to realize, what's traditional for you may not be traditional for them. And also, I wouldn't exactly call what happened in the movie traditional and whatnot. And of course, you can complain about something being too spooky, too scary, too this, too that, too up, too down, too left, too right. Of course, you can complain about that. Of course, you would. You bunch of softies. That aside, but again, you're forcing what you believe in into a movie that was not even based upon your culture, which, in my firm opinion, makes you seem really insensitive because, oh no, God forbid, Disney makes movies about different cultures, not just your own. Another thing is that she was raised by whom, what, her older sister or some? Or aunt, whatever? Somebody had to take the role of the parent because of what had happened. So these are two women. There was no father character, and not only that, the nanny character, she actually sacrificed her own love life so she can take care of the kid. So you can't even argue that she's gonna settle down for a straight couple kind of thing because she can't really do that because she has to settle down to help the kid because taking care of kids takes a lot of time and energy. You think you wouldn't know that because you people have kids of your own. Or at least you claim it. You're forcing your own belief system because you think your way is the right way. So this is appealing to the traditional logical fallacy, and you're already biased, like I just said a moment ago. So this entire thing you're doing here is already in itself self-defeating. It is just so stupid, so stupid.
Now, Disney is hoping Lilo and Stitch will go 2 for 2, with a live action remake releasing on Friday, May 23rd. Emily Chow will be seeing and writing Plugged In's content review for the film, and she joins me now to talk about the new film's upcoming release. Hey,
Hello.
Emily. How you doing?
It's going good.
Okay, great. Well, why don't I ask you this for our icebreaker? What did you think of the original Lilo and Stitch movie? When did
Well, I did enjoy the original one. I didn't think it really needed sequels, nor the TV show. But considering the other sequels that Disney had made, it's fine. I guess the franchise as a whole is fine. I'm not counting the remake because it's terrible. But if I guess since it bears a name, it's like I'm gonna say most of this entries of Lilo Stitch is actually pretty solid for the most part. And whatever.
you first see it? Did you like it?
Okay, so I first saw it when it first came out. You said 2002?
2002.
So I first saw it when I was 10.
Okay.
Based on that timeline. And actually, I rewatched it this weekend when I was babysitting my nephews. And of course, like the older one, he wasn't too interested. I think he went back in his room and played with his toys. And the younger one is 2. So he's not really going to remember it. But it was.
Just because the original Lilo and Stitch film is aimed for the family, that doesn't necessarily mean that every kid is going to grasp what's going on in the movie. I mean, hell, I don't even think the vast majority of adults really grasp it, even though it's not that complicated. But it does speak about several issues, what it means to be a family. Okay, why do I spell this out? Seriously, why?
It's fine.
Yeah,
like,
maybe later.
Me and my husband enjoyed watching it.
Okay.
So yeah, it was everything that you just described in your little intro there. It was all of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I don't know if I saw it in the theaters when it came out, but
Oh, I definitely didn't see it in theater.
Okay.
It would have been like a DVD situation.
Right. I definitely saw it when it released on home video. And I remember liking it quite a lot. I think, maybe it wasn't the most replayed Disney movie.
Oh my god, this is incredibly boring! Oh, I mean, I see what's going on here. They're trying to set this entire conversation up as a way to say, act as if it's so sweet, our conversation is so nice and sweet, which it seems condescending because if I disagree with them, which I am, then somehow I'm the asshole? But okay, that seems manipulative.
For our family, but it definitely came up pretty frequently.
I remember I had a friend who, after that movie came out, she was constantly talking in the Stitch voice, and it drove the adults around us absolutely insane. So I can imagine, you know what, parents, I'm going to give you, this is a gimme.
Oh, this is terrible. This is so bad. I mean, for one, this comes off so disingenuous because what if there's a Muslim family? What if there's a Chinese family? What if there's a Hispanic family that's Mexican or whatever else you can think of, or like Cuban or whatnot? They're traditional in their culture, but they're not traditional towards you. So they're bad because of that? This is suspicious because, again, like the one woman said, oh, I'm married, my husband, blah, 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 blah. And then somebody mentions that their kid, the oldest one, just ran off and did something else. They're trying to give you the sense that we're a wholesome family, we want the best for the family, which is suspicious because if anybody out there is just the exact opposite of them, is somehow evil. As if it wasn't obvious enough, they're trying to paint the picture that the absolutely only way to have a great family if you're Christian, to have a wholesome, sweet, aww, perfect family kind of a scenario if you're Christian. Not just any Christian, mind you. It has to be their braid of Christianity. It can't be nobody else's version of the Bible. It has to be their version of the Bible. Uh, so if you're opposed to it, like I am doing here, I'm the prick. I'm the son of a bitch who's gonna supposedly ruin their family. So if there's any discontent among other communities that aren't like them, there's gonna be a great distrust. And then these people would wonder why such a thing is happening, which is weird because you created your own situation, you created your own enemy. And yes, I'm also referring to the fact that these individuals do have issues with the LGBT plus community. So yeah.
Be prepared to be really annoyed by your kid mimicking every line that Stitch says in his little Stitch voice.
Yeah. So why don't parents just get ahead of it and they can do the mimicking instead, and their kids won't want anything to do with it, right? No.
Yeah. No. I'm just gonna. That one's a gimme.
Okay. So we both saw it pretty early on, and we both enjoyed it quite a bit. It's a sweet story.
It is a sweet story. Yeah. Seeing it this weekend, I was just kind of reminded, like, yeah, there's actually some really intense moments in the film as it pertains to fostering.
This doesn't explain anything, like at all. All you guys doing is trying as if it's a boogeyman kind of a thing. And I do think it's really arrogant of you guys to assume that when it comes to traditional family values, you think it's referring to what you consider to be traditional family values. Why can't the people of Hawaii have their own version of traditional family values? There's no shame in that. But you want everybody, I mean, everyone, whether it's Chinese, Japanese, Korean, it doesn't matter. Literally everyone to convey what you think what our family values are. You only want from what your perspective is.
Because so in the film, the premise is that Lilo and her is being cared for by her older sister Nani because their parents recently passed away in a car crash.
Right.
And as a result, Nani had to go from being the big sister to being the full-time parent, and she's just completely out of her realm.
Well, technically, you're wrong in that because there's also the whole bit with the social worker. Because technically, she could easily just give her up for adoption. So she technically, legally speaking, she doesn't necessarily have to take care of her. I mean, this is maybe different when it comes to morally speaking. You might think morally speaking, she has to take care of her younger sister, but legally speaking, she doesn't necessarily have to because she's not the guardian of her.
She's got, the child services knocking on her door, like threatening. Well, I shouldn't say threatening. They're doing it for Lilo's own good. Like they're doing it to protect Lilo.
Right.
They're not trying to separate the sisters, but Nani is failing in a lot of ways and she feels it. And
oh my God, they're not traditional. There's nothing traditional here. Even Stitch himself had admitted that this family is broken. It's small, imperfect, but it's still family nonetheless. So it's not traditional by any means, at least not in the Christian sense. If anything, it's the exact opposite of what the Christians would value to be traditional speaking, but okay.
so like that was one of the things that I don't remember so much as a kid. I do, but seeing it as an adult, I'm like, oh man, I feel so bad for
Nani.
her. Yeah, like you relate more to Nani.
That's a really good point because she is definitely drowning with the additional responsibility.
Yes.
And that kind of adds on to the fact that with all the quirkiness going on with Stitch, coming down and then these aliens are trying to recapture Stitch.
Again, this doesn't explain anything. Not really. You glance on a lot of stuff. Nani, she's struggling already, financially speaking, because she has a little kid to take care of. And then her keeping a job, a stable one, adds to the stress. Because she can't really keep a stable job. Not really. She was in that one restaurant, if you remember, but okay.
All of that is like also feeding in to kind of make it more difficult for Nani to raise Lilo. So I definitely connected more with that side of the story as well, more so than I did when I was a kid.
Yep.
And we should say
that'll certainly be in the new one as well.
Yes, I was just going to say we expect the new movie, which we haven't seen just yet, but you will soon. We expect the new movie will hew pretty close to the original story, I would say.
Well, yes and no. There are some similarities to the original, obviously, because Disney was trying to play close attention to the original as much as possible. They did take some leniency. When I say them, of course, we're referring to people who worked on the movie. I'm not saying the company itself. But anyway, there were some glaring issues because of the differences. Like, for example, like the aliens from the original movie, they're mostly human. And I can see why Disney did that because it's just a way to be cost effective in some ways. Because lo and behold, making movies is expensive. You think people know that, but they definitely will cut in corners in this movie. While simultaneously competing against the used market. Oh yeah, and advertisement costs money. The billboards cost money. Making the trailers cost money. Making the advertisement on everything costs money. That comes out of the budget. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that will cost money for a big motion picture. So that's something to think about. But whatever. Okay.
Based on the trailers, I would say it's definitely going to lean towards the original story. It is going to be weird seeing it in live action. It's not going to be as weird as the Snow White movie that they did. That one was weird because you were looking at like the animals and the dwarves and they're cartoons, but they're real. And it was weird. That's the only word I can use to describe it. It didn't sit well with a lot of audiences.
Right.
And so in this one, it's kind of the same deal with the aliens and Stitch himself. Like I was looking at it and I was like, Stitch just kind of looks like my stuffed animal came to life.
the whole thing with the nuclear family, having at least one child, or at least one boy or one sister, and then the whole thing with one man, one woman, marriage kind of a thing. The original Lilo and Stitch movie has none of that. It doesn't have the what you call the white picket fence family kind of tradition whatsoever. That doesn't exist in Lilo and Stitch, at least not with the main characters. Anyway, so what I don't understand is that how can these people be praising this movie for being the most pro traditional Christian thing when in reality it's like literally the exact opposite? The movie is not promoting anti-Christianity either. I'm not trying to suggest that the movie is promoting anything hateful towards Christianity because that's not what it's doing. But it's not about Christianity either. It's neither. It's not taking neither side of that debate. I know these individuals want the movie to take a side when it comes to this debate. And this is very, very narrow-minded thinking when you think about it, because that's exactly what this is. It has to be a very specific way, otherwise it's not good. This is just ridiculous when you think about it, but okay, whatever.
And I'm not sure how I feel about that.
yeah. Some of it doesn't always translate so well, but we'll see. We'll see. So with that in mind, though, even though we expect it to kind of hew pretty close, just from anything that you've seen so far or heard, do you see any potential changes that might be concerns for parents with this remake?
So, yeah, I saw a couple of things in the trailer that just stood out to me. So, and again, this is in context with me having just rewatched the original.
Right.
So timing wise, you've got about an extra 20 to, I think it was 23 minutes of film time here.
Okay.
So that's 23 minutes of potential content that you weren't previously expecting.
Yeah.
There, even in the trailer, there's a guy who, says the H word.
Right.
Oh, Jesus goddamn Christ. That was so damn cringe. The H word. Then you wonder why I'll call you softies. Because you are. But okay. What I find weird is that these people and people like them will bend their own rules as an attempt to enjoy a movie. So they won't feel guilty for enjoying it. Because it actually goes against what they believe in when you think about it. But then if someone else like Alpha's I do just that, they'll call us sinners. So this just makes this entire thing very, very hypocritical when you think about it, but okay.
Yeah, and I don't strictly remember if that was in the original anywhere, but I feel like it wasn't.
So it wasn't recorded in our plugged-in review of the original Lilo and Stitch.
There you go. So
thank you, us. Right?
So there may be some minor language to look out for, just based on that.
Oh, heaven almighty. Christ. Another thing I don't understand, why are you trying to soften the language? You're sterilizing the English language, so I can't say the word shit, damn, piss, or whatever. I mean, those like words like hell or shit, which is not the most offensive swear words in English language. But I know there are worse swear words out there. I realize that, but okay. I don't see the plum here exactly, but okay. There is so much violence. I mean, so much disturbing content within the Bible. Could easily make a horror movie. That sounds like a good idea, actually. Make a horror based on the horrific stuff in the Bible. And then you're trying to turn around and claim it's the most pro-family friendly, cutesy-wootsy, wholesome thing ever. So that seems rather bizarre. That the contrast here is extremely glaring when you think about it. But okay, whatever you say.
There's another scene where in the original, Lilo, a shooting star, she thinks it's a shooting star. It's actually Stitch crashing his spaceship. But she thinks it's a shooting star. And she's like, I have to make a wish. And then she gets down on her knees and she actually prays. And she's like, it's me again. And she asks to be sent an angel because she wants a friend.
Yes, that's right.
In this version, just from the trailer, she says,
I wish for a friend. Like a best.
What in the name of hell are you even talking about? What she was asking about is like a good luck charm kind of a thing. The little girl, I mean. She was not doing like a little prayer, like at all. Because the Hawaiians up in their culture, they don't have a Christian faith. I mean, a Hawaiian, a Polynesian can be Christian. They certainly can. But their culture isn't like that. So again, what are you talking about?
And that's all she says. So I was just
Okay.
kind of like, okay, so maybe they're leaning a little bit away from any potential Christian linkages there.
Sure.
Because it's Hollywood and they don't like to step on people's toes.
Right.
That's.
I noticed
ridiculous.
when I watched the trailers, I noticed maybe a few instances of leaning into some bathroom humor. Maybe
Yes.
to get the laughs from the little ones.
Definitely gonna
that
get.
I don't remember from the original necessarily.
Yeah, no, there is.
It's also the blunt sexism in the Bible as well. So again, this is supposed to be something that's wholesome and loving and whatnot, according to you guys. But okay, we're not gonna bring this up, right? Because you have a woman there doing a thing with you guys. So I don't think you can bring this up. I know you can try to deflect this and say that it's not in our Bible, but in a lot of Bibles, it's actually in there. In a lot of versions, when you think about it.
This one alien who he dresses up like a human woman.
Yes. Yeah. Disguises and stuff like that.
To disguise himself. So that was in the original. In this version, like he has some sort of cloaking technology and somebody taps it and for an instant he becomes an alien and he like covers himself like, ooh, and
Right.
so there's that kind of humor where it's like the person.
I mean, okay, yeah, the movie, yeah, even the original film was rather vague on the technology because they don't really explain how any of this works exactly. But I mean, either way, the film still works anyway, I guess. But like, it matters because these people are not going to be paying attention to begin with. But then, not just that, the way she's describing everything, it's so boring. Your talking is boring. This conversation is boring. This video is going on for too long. It's like everything you're saying is boring. That's boring. This is boring. Everything's boring. Christ, you're boring me. I'm falling asleep here.
Fully clothed, but they're covering themselves
Sure.
like they're immodest or something.
Yeah.
So those kind of silly little gimmicks.
Sure. Okay.
Like there's one where Stitch has a lace skirt on and the skirt falls off and he covers his tail.
Right.
Okay. So
Gotcha.
And he's not wearing clothes throughout the movie, but
right. He's just a furry
it's like
little
the
creature.
Donald Duck with the towel thing.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, so the original movie, as we...
Okay, why do you guys state the fact that he's not wearing clothing in the entire movie? That seems oddly specific, but okay. Again, your conversational skills is terrible. Oh, should I say are terrible? Whatever. Point being, you suck at this. You really suck at this. Oh, boy. Like, you can't describe the movie worth shit. Like, at all. I mean, okay. Sure, whatever. Let's finish this.
Kind of talked about. It presented a very pro-family message. I would say particularly kind of this theme of found family, right? And that's come up a lot in a lot of Disney movies, a lot of Hollywood stories. What do you think makes it such a popular kind of trope?
I think that Hollywood is touching on the fact that a lot of people come from families where maybe they weren't.
Again, how is this like a pro-nuclear Christian family exactly? How? It's clearly it isn't. In any shape or form, it's not. Yes, the film does talk about family values, of course. That is a part of the movie. I'm not saying that it isn't, but it's just not in a Christian way. It's not in a Christian wholesome way at all. They want it to be about that. They want the film to be about that kind of thing. They're trying to interject their own beliefs into it, but that's not what it's about.
The way they wanted to be accepted. Maybe their parents didn't understand them. Maybe there was abuse or addiction involved. And as people get older, I think that they tend to lean towards, okay, I want a family that I can actually rely upon because I can't rely upon my birth family for one reason or another. And I think that's what Hollywood is leaning into with all these different stories about found family. And I think that...
Again, I understand the message of the movie. I get the message of the movie. The original one, I mean. But these individuals, these Christians, they try to twist it around and warp around the film into their belief system. And if you criticize them, like I am, they will not just assume that you don't like the movie. No, I'm fine with the movie. The movie's fine. It's just what you're trying to put into it that really annoys me.
There's also just a sense of like, not everybody does have a family. You
Mhm.
know, I already
Yeah.
mentioned the fostering thing earlier. You know, there's kids who need to be adopted or who have to stay in a foster home for a time. They may relate closer to a story like this where, you know, you can find your family in the most unlikely of places, in a little blue alien.
It's so bad and twisted everything. Because that's basically what this is. Because again, they want to twist the movie around and make it be about what they believe in. So they won't feel guilty for watching it because it doesn't really have anything Christian related. But then if I disagree with them, they're trying to act as if I'm against family, I'm against this movie, I'm against Disney, blah 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 blah, which is a lie. That is not what I'm doing here at all.
Right.
Who's an escaped convict from space, you know.
Yes.
And you know, Stitch, there's a little bit of creationism here because Stitch was not born. He was an experiment. He was made
that's
by
right. When Jumba? Is that?
by Jumba,
Yeah.
in a laboratory. So, you know, he doesn't really feel like he has a family, and he finds his family in Lilo and Nani. And Lilo and Nani,
What are you talking about? I know she's trying to make it as if that she's okay with self-discovery and whatnot, which she isn't. So you mean to tell me that the only way somebody can have a peaceful life, a great life, a productive life, a wonderful, great life, if they have the traditional white picket fence nuclear family? No. It may work for you. It may work for your neighbors. It may work for your cousin. Maybe it may work for your sisters. And that's fine. If that works for all of you, that's okay. But, however, I'll draw the line here. We're trying to force your belief system, trying to act like as if that this is the only way. Like this is the only way, absolutely positivity, only way to live in a great life. That's a lie. You don't necessarily have to live in that way to have a great life. It may work for y'all, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for me. It sounds like hell to me. It sounds like a torture. It sounds boring. So you want me to have what them young folks say, vanilla? You want me to have the most vanilla life ever? That sounds boring. That sounds incredibly goddamn boring. Holy shit, that sounds like hell. Maybe hell exists. Maybe that's hell. Maybe for me it is. Holy hell. No, no. Absolutely no. Not for me. You can keep that, but not for me.
obviously already are family,
Yes.
but their family has kind of been broken by
Right.
the loss of their parents, and
Right.
Stitch kind of comes in to help fill the void that has been left.
Yeah.
So
And if I remember right, some of the other characters too.
some of the other characters too.
Yeah.
I don't know how prominent they will be in this movie. But yeah.
Okay, we'll find out. So, Emily, your full content review of the Lilo and Stitch remake will be up this week. So, for our listeners, if you want the full scoop on the new Lilo and Stitch, you can check it out there, pluggedin.com. Thanks for the conversation, Emily.
This is my land. This is your land. Home of California. However that song goes. I thought America was supposed to be a cesspool of multiple cultures and multiple identities, yada, yada, yada. And I'm pretty sure they would agree on that. I'm pretty sure they would. Which is contradicted by the idea that you have to be a Christian, not just any Christian, their version of Christianity. Because as I mentioned before, those multitude of different versions of Christianity. I mean, multitude of different versions. I'm about to just finish this, folks, because like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm just going to be responding to that sort of segment of the podcast they made because they were going off on a bunch of other stuff. I know it's all supposed to tie into this, really. This is supposed to be the main thing. Oh, kind of. But I'm just tying it together about what it means to be a family, what it means to live a wholesome life, what it means to live a productive life, all that jazz. Again, what works for you may not work for me, and it clearly won't. It is. Again, I've been around for over 100 years. I'm over 100 years old, folks. But not, I lived long enough to realize that none of that's for me. I lived it just fine. I mean, I had a lot of trouble in the past, let's put it that way. A lot of gun shooting. Oh boy. They don't call me a secret agent for nothing. I had a terrible past. Oh boy, it was awful for a variety of different reasons. I was married one time, more like 8 times though. And that's why I was actually married like 8 different times. I don't think I want to get married again. Not for the 9th or 10th time. You kidding me? No, I don't think so. Okay, going slightly off topic here, but again, what it means to be a family and whatnot. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm gonna live my life how I deem necessary because that's what America's supposed to be about. I thought that America was supposed to be that kind of way. Live how I want to live. As long as long as I'm not harming nobody, of course. As long as I'm not harming anybody in any kind of shape or form. And it's not even business anyway. It's not your business anyway. How I want to live my life. They just seem to really control it. It's me, okay? Me. Not you. I want to live my life how I want to live my life. Not according to you, not according to your Bible, but according to me. And the Lilo Stitch films, whether it's the sequels, the miniseries, the remake, or the original, whatever, it doesn't necessarily have to reflect on your personal belief system. I mean, you can make a story about that. If you want to make a movie about your personal belief system, you can if you want. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna watch it or obligated to watch it. But you can make that if you want, if you wish. I'm not gonna see it though. But still, that doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense whatsoever. Like at all. Living a life you deem necessary, is that what Lilo and Stitch is about? At least to some extent? Which does goes against what these Christians are trying to promote, I guess. I don't know. This just seems pretty bizarre. If you like, I don't know what's going on really. None of this makes any sense. None of this makes any damn sense at all. I mean, that part should be obvious, of course. So ultimately, I felt this was nothing. It's a nothing sandwich. Again, a nothing sandwich at all. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Whatever. This is dumb. This is so damn dumb. Anyway, folks, that'll be it. Thanks for watching. Until next time. See ya.